Harper Audio presents It's Dangerous to Believe, Religious Freedom and Its Enemies by Mary Eberstadt, performed by Margaret Winston. In a free country, we punish men for the crimes they commit, but never for the opinions they have. President Harry S. Truman. Introduction. Among the Believers, or Why I Wrote This Book. Where will we go? The first time I heard an American Christian ask this shocking question was around 3 years ago. Following a public talk in downtown Denver about religion and secularization, subject of my last book, I was invited to dinner with a dozen or so guests at someone's home in the Rocky Mountain foothills. It was a lively, loquacious evening. Most of those present were college-educated professionals, some with advanced degrees. All happened to be practicing Catholics, and all leaned toward the conventional end of the religious spectrum. As the conversation revealed, they were also involved in various charities, beginning with our hostess, who had just started up a new program for homeless women in a blighted area of downtown. The company was inspiring, the atmosphere festive, and the dinner talk ranged over books and theater, local and national politics, and other engaging fare. Then someone brought up the question of children, a number of whom were also present, and the barometer of merriment plummeted. How, someone asked as she cradled her infant, could Catholic parents protect their sons and daughters from the toxic surges of today's society, especially the rising bellicosity toward believers? This anxious query quieted the table, and more questions followed. What would these children face in the future, given the rapidly growing hostility toward religious faith? In 20 years, another guest mused, would practicing Christians even be admitted to elite institutions like Ivy League schools and prestigious companies and law firms, or denied on account of their beliefs? People spoke of the anti-religious fusillade now riddling popular culture via movies, books, videos, cartoons, and related popular fare that denigrates people of faith. They spoke about the ongoing vilification of Christians especially as haters and bigots. Some asked, what is a believer to do these days? Withdraw into tiny communities, as disparate thinkers have lately urged, hoping, like the monks of yesteryear, to ride out a new dark age? Or should they instead stand tall as witnesses and endure castigation in the newly virulent public square? What about other options, like moving to other states or even other countries, where religious people could live out their faith in peace, and where, if anywhere, did such places exist? Or, as someone somewhere in the mix put it, where will we go? None of us are strangers to the so-called culture wars, the long-standing, passionate, bitter debates over school prayer, abortion, pornography, sex education, same-sex marriage, transgenderism, women in combat, and the rest. Or to wider, related cultural transformations, like the ascendancy of the new atheism beginning a decade ago, or the accompanying rise of secularism and secularization. What the late intellectual and Catholic priest Father Richard John Newhouse dubbed the naked public square. Momentous though all of these developments have been, they're also no longer news. But what's happening among Western religious believers today, the seismic shift represented by that question heard first in Denver 3 years ago, is like nothing that has happened before. Here were serious people so concerned that their religious faith was at risk that they were wondering whether to go somewhere else. By 2016, in many influential cultural, political, and intellectual precincts, C for Christian has become the new scarlet letter. Where will we go? In the 3 years since that night in Denver, I've learned that this question is being asked all over. I've heard it from Baptist ministers in Texas, for example, explaining their astonishment that they, or any other Americans, had lived to see the day when a mayor of Houston
Sample complete. Ready to continue?